Hello and welcome back to Hustle. I'm Alex. Another day in the podathon. Let's get to it. Today we're talking about Ozwald Boateng. Listen, when I was, let's see, 12 years ago in 2013, I was just turning 20 and I discovered Ozwald Boateng. And it honestly was a life-changing moment for me. I have never seen somebody outside of rap, outside of being an athlete or a hustler that was absolutely dominating his league. So, for context, Oswald Boateng is one of the leading tailors and bespoke, from what he calls himself, bespoke couturiers in Savile Row. Let me break down what that even means. Because when you hear Savile Row, it's like, I don't know what that is geographically, but that is where the who's in England get their suits made. I'm talking about the celebrities, maybe even the royals, like the top of the top. That's where they get their suits made, and have been getting the suits made for over 100 years. Oswald Boateng was the first Black man to have a shop on Savile Row, and the youngest in the world to have a shop at Savile Row, between both being Black and white. And from using his heritage, I think he's Ghanaian, using his Ghanaian colors and inspiration from his culture, was wiping the floor with all the other suit makers across the nation. And seeing his documentary, I highly suggest YouTube Oswald Bolton documentary, and it'll come right up. It was dope seeing somebody hone their craft and be amazing at it. He ended up going from there to becoming the head designer at Givenchy, and started having anime on the fashion shows, in the fashion shows, pardon me, and was really doing innovative things at a young age, all without major investors from what it looked like, and was honestly just killing it. So recently, it was announced that he's bankrupt. The company is now being sold, it's going to be liquidated, and it's now over. And that really made me think of what happened. How could this happen? And you look at other brands that are booming that have a similar cachet or similar kind of trajectory, and that could be Tom Ford, Ralph Lauren, Xenia, things of that nature. Xenia is a little bit different because they also manufacture. Like Xenia, I believe they have their own mills, whereas Tom Ford does not. But that's like a different kind of comparison. But I think what really stood out here is the reason why I have to explain who he is, and maybe not have to explain who Tom Ford is because there was specific steps he did not take that someone like a Tom Ford or a Ralph Lauren or very popular designer, a Marc Jacobs even could take that he didn't take. And that is having a diffused line. And what's so interesting is that because of his cachet, because of his ability to have cultural relevance, he could have been able to create new lines that would have been able to have different levels of income. Because right now, or even when he was at his heyday, the main reason he was making money was from the suits, was from selling high-end suits to other guys. And let me tell you, that business model is amazing. I was talking to somebody literally the other day. I think I was talking to Ami, and shout out to Ami. Her episode is either out now or about to drop. We had an episode on sales. Amazing episode. Chef's kiss of an episode. But with that business model, he would literally walk up to somebody or someone come into a shop, he'd measure them, get their specific details, and then charge them $5, $10, $15, $20,000 for a suit. That's an incredible business model. But now, with suits coming out of style, with not as many men even wanting suits, period, there's not as much demand. So he needs to figure out new ways of making money. And I've seen him do other ventures like creating a one-off furniture line, but nothing that was really drastic in terms of a strong diffusion line. And this is something I see with other designers. If you look at Essentials, for example, by Jerry Lorenzo, he had Fear of God, which was this main line, the expensive line that most people that are celebrities and people in high fashion could buy. Then he had Essentials, which even though it was the main line, you would still see Justin Bieber in it, other celebrities in it, and everyday people in the main line because it was an affordable line, right? But it still had the cachet of Jerry Lorenzo. This is the path that a lot of designers take and a lot of business owners take. And where I'm going with this is the lessons that we can take from this, you know? The lesson here is that all of us want to focus on getting the big box clients. We want to focus on getting that logo on our website, getting the next person that's going to be killing it for us that says, oh yeah, we represent this person and that person wears our company. You know, they buy from us. But at the same time, having something that the everyday consumer can buy makes it 10 times better. For example, Tom Ford. Tom Ford has an amazing strategy in this case. His suits are comparable to Ozwald Boateng. His track record as a designer could be compared to Ozwald Boateng. But what he has, which was very smart, is low-cost, high-margin products, which include his eyewear, his sneakers, and his most popular one, his fragrances. So even though the actual product costs so much, there's a big opportunity to have his products in Shoppers Drug Mart for the average consumer to buy. And so for us, the question is, what is your high-end product that you're selling? And what is your low-end product that you're selling? So your brand still commands the cachet from the high end, even though there's low-end products that can be sold at a higher rate and still provide that same elegance. That has been a main contributor to my ethos and something that really drives me forward. You see that all the time with designers that do collaborations with H&M and local brands. Forever 21, I think it was what Rue did, and Zara sometimes. That's a prime example of how they can execute it. But there's a huge opportunity to figure out ways. If you are a service provider, maybe you have a business package, like an enterprise package, but you have a cheaper line for everyday consumers, you know? Do you have that in your business? Is that something that you're really executing? Food for thought. This has been something that has been so evident. Honestly, it's so unfortunate because Ozwald Boateng is an inspiration to a lot of young men. For example, there was a moment years ago where Jay-Z was wearing a suit and he was saying, "This isn't pink, this is mauve." I don't know if you remember that spot, but that designer got his inspiration from Ozwald Boateng, you know? So there's a lot of opportunity to make money, but if he was more concentrated on having a main and diffuse line, he really could have sustained his business. But that's the main thing I want to talk about today. That just really touched me when I saw the announcement that his business is closing down. And yeah, it's just a big lesson, a big glaring learning lesson. What do you think about this? Is this something that makes sense to you? I'd love to get your comments, so please comment down below. And most importantly, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. You know, like, we're doing this, we're continuing the podathon and keeping it pushing, man. And honestly, all the support that you guys are showing, whether it be comments, little side messages, the DMs, they all mean something. So I appreciate all the love. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, y'all. Hustle what you can't control, so control your grind and control your life.